Hey YouTube, it's Ben here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the fish that are in the Hap nursery. Let's take a look at those guys, and let's talk a little bit about them and get to know them. And this will be like the first in a series that will chronicle those fish as they get older, get larger, and start coloring up. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with what's quickly becoming one of my favorites here, and that's this little Malawi Hawk. I like him for a couple of reasons. One is, of course, he's got a great attitude, and I love the way he'll hang over a fish and tilt and look at him with one eye, and before he comes down on him. Now, there's no one in this tank that he can eat, but it's pretty cool to watch. He's as you can see here, an Aristochromis christyi Malawi Hawk. And I'm really looking forward to watching him gain some of these kind of colors. The next fish is a Fossochromis Roe Stratus. And the Fossochromis Roe Stratus is going to be a very good sized fish. He'll put on a lot of size, a lot of width, and can get up to over 10 inches, and will be very colorful, as you can see here. And you know, it'll take a while for him to really get and reach his full potential, but you know, once he gets there, it'll be pretty amazing. This guy here is the Naevochromis. It's a Naevochromis, and I believe he's one of those fish that is like the only one of his species. It's kind of an unusual type of a situation, but he ends up very, very beautiful. Gets a lot of coloration, and you'll be able to see him here in a second as to how he'll look after he blossoms. Extremely active, never stops. Reminds me of the Bucanonos in that he's constantly swimming. And it's a Nochromis chrysogaster, chrysogaster, and really the only one of his kind apparently within this type of species. The next one here is a fish that ends up with a lot of subtle coloration. All these fish will end up a very good size. As you can see, this right now the fish is very, very plain, very gray. It will take him a long time to color up, but when he does finally color up, he'll be quite a looker. It's a Lethrinops Marginatus redfin. Lethrinops Marginatus redfin. So you can see he ends up pretty spectacular. Here's another fish that's really one of my favorites. It's the Nimbochromis Lynnie, and he'll end up with some very good size and some very good color. The sample picture I'm going to show you here of an adult Lynnie doesn't really do him justice. I've seen pictures where they're far more spectacular. Of course, keep in mind that very often the pictures that you see are, you know, like breeders, and are very often much nicer than anything you'll end up with. But that's that unicorn fish that Jay Wilson was talking about in a recent video. But here's a picture of a Lynnie as he's gotten older, and they're pretty impressive. The Stonii, the Livingstoni is this guy is probably the tank boss. His usual greeting to other fish is to bump into them pretty hard, and he's got a lot of character. And of course, he'll become a very big fish, and hopefully will be able to coexist with the rest of these fish, Nimbochromis Livingstoning. So again, I've got a few years of growing ahead of me here with these guys, and to get them up to that kind of spectacular size and color. have them fatten up like that. And here's the Nimbochromis fusco. And of course, for those of you that are familiar with my videos, I have a very strong liking for fuscos, and this one already has little signs of blue in the face, blue along the sides of the body. So you know, fingers crossed that he'll end up being a looker. Very active, not subdued at all, and one of the more active fish. You know, the Livingstoni can bump into him, but he holds his own. And as you can see here in these pictures, when he gets older, he'll be a much bigger, much more impressive fish, and will not be, you know, afraid of anybody in the tank. That's for sure. So looking forward to watching him grow up. And here's the baby Venustus. This fish wasn't part of the original shipment that I picked up from Tampa Bay Cichlids. And a shout out to Tampa Bay Cichlids. That's where I borrowed these photographs from. And they sold me the majority of these fish, except for the Venustus, which I picked up at a sort of a 3 for $10 local fish store. So I've got my fingers crossed that one of those are a male. I picked up 3, so there's a good chance, I hope, that one of them is a male. They can be pretty impressive, as you can see here. When the males get that blue face, they can be a pretty impressive fish, you know, and get up around 10 inches or more. So I'm looking forward to watching them grow up. This fish here, the Placidochromis, Placidochromis johnstoni, very bold vertical bars on the side of his body, so I'm hoping this one's going to end up being very nicely colored. When the johnstonis have good color, you can see in the photograph, they can be pretty spectacular. So you know, again, if you're raising fish, if you're raising fry, you've got to work through long periods of just plain gray fish before they become something extremely impressive, like this sample here. There's also a red empress in here. This fish is very, very subdued. Sometimes I wonder if he's eating enough. He's a little bit cowed, a little bit afraid of the other fish. So I'm going to keep an eye on him and maybe even move him to another tank, let him put on a little bit of size. He's just very timid. Just very, very timid. Doesn't attack the food the way the other fish do. You can see him here as an adult. They can be extremely impressive, very, very beautiful fish. And I really want him to make it, and hopefully he will. This of the fish I received, of course, this one is the most impressive, just because it came already colored up. This right here is your is a great example of a Taiwanee Reef, and he's just a baby, and you can see the coloration that's going on with him already, with those egg spots and the dots on his tail fins and markings on his body. Just a beautiful specimen, and looking forward to him getting larger. And he was sort of an extra in the shipment. So that's the roundup. Thank you so much for watching, and you know, be sure to comment and subscribe and share and sub and all that good stuff. And come visit Benno Cichlid on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. I'm always posting short videos and things of that nature on Instagram, and the Facebook page has become a very, very good group. A lot of good people there sharing advice and information. And so if you're not visiting, come on by. We'd love to have you. All right? Thank you so much. Let's end off with a look at a couple nice fish. The first one, a male bucanono from Nick Hernandez, the Cichlid junkie. And the second one that I'll put up here is an intermedius that I picked up a long time ago, also from Tampa Bay Cichlids. Dave Estes over at FL Tropfish on eBay.